Brought to you by Virgin Media. A new era of entertainment awaits on Ireland's fastest broadband network.
Well, box offices here in London's Leicester Square. And of course, it's all about movies. And with me now is BBC film critic Anna Smith. Anna, you're very welcome back to Box Office.
Thank you.
Now, of course, 2017 has been actually quite good for movies. But what is still coming down the track that we can look forward to?
Well, it's a good time of year to be going to the movies. We've got awards contenders coming up. And of course, blockbusters, there's a few of those left. We've got Justice League coming up. Quite excited to see Wonder Woman back on the screen.
Now, the new Star Wars The Last Jedi marks, of course, the last on-screen performance by Carrie Fisher. And it's going to be really an emotional one for the fans. But with so many production problems with the spin-off films along with Episode 9, how is The Last Jedi going to shape up?
I'm feeling quietly hopeful about this one. I really like The Force Awakens. A lot of the same people are involved. Carrie Fisher, obviously, I mean, what a wonderful chance to say goodbye to her. I think it will be emotional for fans, and I think they managed to shoot all her scenes before she sadly passed away. So those scenes in particular are going to be really quite something.
And of course, Anna, we've got two very strange offerings. We've The Disaster Artist and The Shape of Water. What can you tell us about them?
Well, The Disaster Artist is about the film The Room. I don't know if you've heard of that. It became a sensation, known as one of the worst films of all time. It was made on a really low budget, and the true story of this was made into a book, and the book is now becoming a film, starring and directed by James Franco as this very mysterious, charismatic, but very, very eccentric figure. So I think that's going to be played with quite a sort of amusing touch. Seth Rogen's in it as well. He's always funny, and they're always great together. So I think that's a good, quirky one to look out for. On the more serious side, I think The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro's new film, is definitely one to see. It's getting great critical praise from the award ceremonies and from the festival so far. Sally Hawkins can do no wrong in my eyes, and she is in this, and she plays a woman who I believe is mute, who works in a laboratory which may have alien creatures in it, and she forms a very special bond with an alien creature, so definitely a different one.
Now, speaking of Sally Hawkins, her performance in Maudie, for my mind, was an Oscar-worthy contender, and of course we can see the contender films running from kind of November right through to January. So what are your ones? What do you favour coming down the track?
We've seen some really special, big budget, great big director films this year, like Dunkirk and Blade Runner 2049. And I think both of those films are going to figure highly in award seasons, certainly the director's categories and the technical categories. And I also thought Harrison Ford was absolutely brilliant in Blade Runner 2049 as well. So I would love to see him get recognition. Wouldn't that be nice? Kind of almost a little sentimental nod to the original, for him to get something for the follow-up. So there's been that kind of stuff. And of course, you've got a lot of the sort of more unusual festival offerings, and some of the foreign films like Call Me By Your Name, I think, could do really well.
Okay. Now, if we were to really break it down, Anna, when it comes to male and female performances, who are your standouts? Who's the one you think will nab the male category?
I actually think it's too early to say about the male category, but I think Ryan Gosling could get a nomination.
Really?
Yeah, I think he could do. But Sally Hawkins has got to be the winner for me so far. Yeah, for Maudie, but also potentially for The Shape of Water, because I think that film with Guillermo del Toro behind it is going to be the one that's going to get the really big marketing push and that everyone's going to be going to see. And Maudie was a lovely film, but it was a small film. But Sally Hawkins deserves an Oscar, so let's give her one.
Is there any underdogs that you feel really need the recognition they deserve coming into award season, that they've kind of been forgotten about, but you want to let them win the race?
Well, I really like Battle of the Sexes, which is the film about the great tennis match, of course, with Billie Jean King. And it's a really fun, uplifting film that, interestingly, female reviewers seem to be liking more than men. It's more of a kind of rousing feminist story. But I'd like to see that recognised come award season.
And Anna, finally, is there any movies this year that you feel are not going to get the nod they deserve, that are kind of the underdog, but they're not going to get the recognition?
It'll be really interesting to see what happens with Darren Aronofsky's film Mother, which I thought was triumphant in many ways, technically brilliant, dazzling, not one I necessarily want to see again, but such an intense experience and well directed. But I'm not sure he's going to repeat the success he had with Black Swan in this one, because it's just a bit too controversial.
We'll have to get you back, of course, to tell us all about your Oscar favourites, when and if they happen. All right, thanks very much, Anna. It's great to see you.
You too. Thanks a lot.
You give and you give and you give. It's just never enough.
Brought to you by Virgin Media. A new era of entertainment awaits on Ireland's fastest broadband network.